Hey guys, today I want to talk about the fears, all the fears that people have about moving to the Philippines. And you know, there are a lot of reasons why people are afraid to come here. There's tons of reasons, and I've heard them all from different people, and some of the guys have gone back. We've touched on this a little bit in the past. I want to dig into this a little bit deeper because if you plan, and you plan well, and you have life insurance, you have death insurance, and you have somebody that over here when you get here that'll take those things and make sure that they come to fruition if you get sick or if you die or something. You need to make sure that when you get here, you have at least a good expat friend that's going to do that, and have a second person on that will. Make sure you have a will done so that they can take care of your body, okay? But that's one of the things people are afraid of, because they're fearful that when they die, nobody will take care of their body. Nobody will do anything, and they'll end up in a pauper's grave or whatever type of grave. And I don't know what happens to you when nobody picks you up. I'm sure they probably call the embassy or whatever, and I'm not sure what the embassy would do in a case like that. You know, I'm sure they have some way of dealing with it. Maybe they just have you cremated or whatever, and that's it, you know. And who knows what happens to the cremated remains. Maybe they try to contact your relatives. Maybe they don't even know who your relatives are. You know, maybe you're pretty much on your own. A lot of the guys over here are on their own. They're not close to their family, and some people are close to their family. You know, I have people back in the States that I'm very close with, and I have other ones that I'm not close with. Would they take care of me? I'm sure they would try to take care of things as well as they could from the United States for me. But that's one of the worries here that we have, and we need to have people that will kind of take care of that. It's a huge concern over here. Also, when people come over here, if they're sick, if I check into a hospital, I need somebody to take care of my outside stuff and possibly take me, my phone, my iPad or whatever in there, and I need to be able to make phone calls. And also a lot of guys worry, well, how am I going to call the United States from inside a hospital? Well, you need to make sure you have service on your phone. You have to make sure that you have extra smart cards or whatever, or some way to load your phone. And also you need to make sure that you have a hotspot that you can use your iPad so you can get into things in the bank or on your phone or whatever. You need to make sure you can do your banking on your phone, you know, to call your bank or whatever you have to do. And also be able to pay off the hospital. That's another thing. Credit cards come in handy, things like that, to kind of take that worry and that concern away from you. And I bring this up a lot because these are the number one concerns when people come over here. Also, we talked the other day about the Insta girlfriend at the airport. Sometimes that can be a great thing. Sometimes that can be a very bad thing. Depends on how well you know her. She could be a scammer. She could be trying to feed off you for extra money or whatever. She could be a lot of things. We see that all the times over here with a lot of different guys. Happens all the time. Sometimes the Insta girlfriend is not the best, and sometimes it is. So that's kind of like it's a better than 50-50 chance that you're probably going to do good if you've been talking to her for over a year and she's with you and she's still with you, and she seems like she's fairly decent. Chances are she'll probably work out, if not permanently, for a long time with you, and at least you made a friend or whatever. And some of these girls, when you break off with them, obviously they're not going to stay friendly with you. The best way to start up that relationship is not to get too serious in the beginning. Just say, listen, let's see how it goes in the beginning, and we'll work it from there, and don't put things in people's names right away. I'm saying talk to an attorney as soon as you get here. We have an attorney if you need one. If you're gonna be living around the Manila area, you can contact me. I'll hook you up with an attorney, and we'll take care of things that way for you and make sure that you're all set. I don't know where that bar came from. It wasn't there when I was going by there a few seconds ago, but I guess they must have been over here working or something. They pushed it out further. Anyway, so the things that you have to worry about, don't worry about too much. Because if you do the planning that we've pushed in the beginning of my videos, and you can go back and see the videos that fit you, you should be okay. Those are the things that people worry about the most, that people will not be contacted if they die. Put things in your wallet. In the outer part of your wallet where it has like a little window there, try to get a wallet with a window and put, in case of emergency, call this number. Have a binder, like I said. I've talked about this before. Have a binder ready, that somebody can grab. If you're sick, grab this binder. If you die, grab this binder. and and maybe have a little bit of extra money inside that binder to make phone calls or whatever, or give the information to get into your phone to use Magic app, Skype, or whatever. Tell them that they can use that to phone back to the US, and tell them when to call or whatever too. You need all that information, and you have to be very specific with Filipinos, because they'll be calling in the middle of the night thinking that they're awake back there because they forget about the time zones. A lot of people don't know about that, depending on where you're at. There are people here in the Philippines that have no clue about time zones. They don't even know about that. I've talked to some people here that are very uneducated, and they think the time is the same all the way around the world, which it isn't, and you might find that funny, but it's true in some cases. And the other thing is this, that when people come over here on a limited budget, that is the biggest concern. The limited budget is the biggest concern, because your budget, if you're not getting COLA raises, cost of living increases, if you're not getting those each year, your money's going down the toilet each year, basically. And costs here are going up precipitously very fast. Rents are staying the same, but other things are catching up really, really fast over here. I've noticed it. It's getting way more expensive to live over here. Some places are cheaper than others. Our area is really good for living cheap as far as rentals are. Food is expensive. Food is expensive all throughout the Philippine Islands pretty much. It doesn't really change much. If you're in an area that grows certain foods and farm vegetables and stuff like that, like up in Baguio, you're way better off up there, because you can get all these vegetables and everything fairly cheap, fairly reasonable, and they're readily available at a decent price. Whereas, down here where I live, we have some vegetables available. We have a place now that sells lettuce nearby my house and stuff. These are things you have to keep in mind. And a lot of the guys, when they come over here, they don't move to a cheap area. They go to places like Dumaguete. Now, some people are telling me, "Oh man, Steve, you can live down in Dumaguete for $1,500 a month," but you're not going to go out every night, and you're not going to go out more than 3 or 4 times a week and go out and have a good time or whatever. And you're not going to be eating out a lot for that amount of money. You're just not. And these people that are telling you they can live on $400, $500, $600 a month, and they're still putting this stuff out there. I've seen some as recent as a couple months ago and 4 months ago. These people pushing, they're showing these guys that are living on $490 a month. I think that's a bunch of bullcrap, to be honest with you. I don't think these people are being totally honest. I think there's some money coming in from girlfriends or whatever, or they're just not being honest. For you to say that you live here on $490 a month is just not being truthful, because you probably don't have internet. You probably barely even have a phone. My phone each month probably costs me, maybe 1,000 pesos, 2,000 pesos a month to keep it running properly, to where I can have decent internet on it and to make unlimited phone calls and texts. It costs, that if you're on these low budgets, that's a lot, and I like to have hotspot too. A lot of guys I notice here that travel a lot and that are on the lower budgets also use hotspot. They use hotspot to survive with their computer, and you're not going to get good service with your hotspot, and it uses up your data super fast if you're watching movies or YouTube. There are other things that you can get on for services on your phone. You can add, and they're fairly cheap and reasonable, where you can watch YouTube Unlimited or something like that. They have other things on their TikTok or whatever you like to watch or whatever. For me, I like to just have hotspot, but I don't have hotspot at my house. What I do is I use my regular internet back there, which I pay about $60 a month for. And this is what I'm saying. We got flies around here because I'm in the cages here. People live in here, I guess. And anyway, I did want to talk about that, because it's the things that guys worry about over here is all this that I'm talking about. And if you don't come over here and have a certain amount of money for emergency money, for startup money, I would really, really think about not coming here. And a lot of guys will say, "Well, geez, Steve, hey, if back in the United States, I'll be homeless on the streets." But you have places you can go to get care, hospital care, stuff like that. Can you come over here and live on $1,500 a month? Yeah, but you're going to live on a very tight budget. And if you're a wonder at budgets, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And if you have a girlfriend, it's going to, that might get in your way. If you have a girlfriend that works, that's the way to go. A lot of the girlfriends, though, are going to think, well, if I'm working, I'm going to use that to pay for my family. I'm going to use it to help my mom, help my dad, help my sisters. And that's what they want to do. And that's okay, but they must realize that they must chip in a little bit too. A lot of guys over here that are on the $2,000 to $3,000 or $4,000 a month budget, and their girlfriend's still working. And I myself, if I was in a relationship, if the girl wants to work, I'm okay with that. I'm actually really okay with it because of the fact that it helps her. She wants to help her family. She wants to help her kids. She wants to give them a little bit of extra money each month. Hey, that's her choice. She wants to buy some nice clothes. She can have that, and just tell her she can keep all that money, and you just you'll pay the food and stuff like that, or have her chip in a little bit, depending on what your budget is. And these are all things that can kind of alleviate that anxiety of coming over here. I've seen so many guys come over here and they lead on these girls. They come over here on the cheaper budgets and they go back, or their anxiety is too high, or they have some sort of mental health issues or what have you, and they come over here. And this happens quite a lot over here in the Philippines. We get a lot of these older guys, and older gentlemen have a lot of anxiety because they're worried and concerned about what's going to happen to them, as you should be. Okay, as you should be. You should be worried about your welfare, and your being safe over here. You need to be. Okay, so make sure that you are going to be worried about yourself. Think about yourself. Put yourself, in a safe place if you come here, and make sure you plan. Don't just come over here without any emergency money, without any startup money, without anything like that, and you'll be okay. But if you come over here and you don't do that, that's when you're going to have that anxiety and concerns and worries and think, you know what, maybe I need to go back. I'd rather see you come over here a year later and save than come over here now with nothing and it'd be a total blowout and you have to go back, with your tail between your legs. Don't be that guy, because there's many of them. And that's the terrible part of living over here, is that, we see so many guys come over here and we think they're going to make it. And then all of a sudden the guys start talking, saying, I don't think this guy's going to make it. Because a lot of the guys that have been here for 3, 4, 5, 10 years or whatever, they'll be like, this guy's not going to work out. And you can usually tell the train wrecks in advance. A lot of the guys here, they could have the writing on the wall right in front of them. Or they could be warned by somebody and say, hey, listen, this is not a good thing. And they're like, no, I know what I'm doing. This is good for me. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, pal, you do what you want to do. And then 2 months later, they're a train wreck. And we have a couple of train wrecks that I see right now in our area who left our group, and they put all their trust in other people. And it's not a good thing to do in the Philippines. Sometimes you can have a lot of faith in Filipinos, but when you start throwing out huge sums of money and put it in their names, thinking that they're gonna stand by you, not a good idea at all. And it also puts a little bit of greed and selfishness in the hearts of those people, because they stop talking to other people thinking that, hey, I'm all taken care of now. And they forget about their old friendships. They forget about the love that they had from other people. And we have seen that. And a lot of these people that come over here, these guys that are lonely, especially these are the people that usually end up going back, actually, sometimes in some cases. They come over here and they trust people too much, and then they get burned by these people. Some people can be really heartless over here at what they do to expats. They don't care. And I see that, and I see people talking and stuff about, like, yeah, I'm just going to take care of him until he dies and blah, 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 and then I get everything, and they get greedy and they stop talking to their friends and stuff. And we've seen this, and with a lot of people. And a lot of friends of mine tell me that they've seen the same thing with other expats, putting all their fruits in all their eggs in one basket, and hoping that this person's going to be truthful to them and take care of them. That's not the way to do it, because if you get a argument with these people, or they disagree with you on something, all of a sudden they're going to say, screw you. I'm just going to take everything, and what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. Anyway, guys, I want to kind of chat about that. You need to be safe. If you want to be safe over here, you need to have those things in place that I talked about. Anyway, take care. God bless and be safe. God bless, guys.